The KEEL Morning Show with Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Breaking news and trending talk on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Good morning at 6:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Lots of local news, and Erin has that next.
Adrian Perkins strongly denies endorsing Brett Kavanaugh for the Supreme Court. The Facebook Live killer wants to plead guilty to end his trial. And how did Louisiana get so much money?
Yeah, we need to talk about that Perkins thing because it was a pretty good source. It was a pretty good story. Said, yes, I do. He says, oh, no, I don't. And I have a question. What's the gang trial that's going on right now?
The Block Boys.
I've got a couple of questions about that I think you or someone else may be able to assist. Fletcher Sports, traffic, and weather, and it's all here this hour coming up on KEEL.
I used to post to job boards.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Adrian Perkins strongly denies the endorsement of Brett Kavanaugh. Reuben Wright has more.
Mayoral candidate Adrian Perkins ended up with his name on a letter from the Black Law Students Association of Harvard Law School endorsing Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. However, Perkins sent a letter back claiming that his name was never authorized for use and should be removed from the letter. Perkins also claims that Shreveport City Attorney Willie Bradford was the one spreading the letter around via email. Perkins said he never knew or met Brett Kavanaugh. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Reuben Wright.
Louisiana looking at a $300 million surplus from the last budget year. We asked State Treasurer John Schroeder how we got the budget numbers so wrong.
I'm not quite ready. This is probably a couple days early.
State Representative Dodie Horton says she wants to roll that nearly half a penny temporary sales tax off the books, though.
We knew that we would be what our state would be collecting would be increasing, and as far as I know, we haven't even started collecting the sales tax from remote dealers, internet dealers, that we will be collecting.
While the governor admits there is a surplus, we won't know the exact number, he says, until the middle of next month. The Facebook Live killer wants to plead guilty to end his trial. Jonathan Robinson, the man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend, Renita Williams, while she streamed on Facebook Live, interrupted attorneys who were arguing over when a death penalty certified lawyer would be made available. Robinson wanted to keep his public defender and get the hearing over with. 5 suspected members of the Block Boys gang on trial, facing charges ranging from racketeering to drug-related infractions. The Block Boys have been accused by federal authorities of dealing drugs and robbing rival gang members in Shreveport's Queensboro and Ingleside neighborhoods. An officer has now been identified in the Saturday shooting on 80th and Dillman. SPD Sergeant Michael Jones is the officer that responded to a call of 2 men walking in the street and firing guns. When Jones arrived, the 2 men pulled guns and took aim at him. Sergeant Jones fired shots, striking the 2 men, sending them to the hospital with life-threatening wounds. Louisiana will get a $1.8 million a year over the next 5 years to establish a comprehensive Louisiana school mental health support program in 34 schools. Education spokesperson Sydney Dunn says it'll help provide special training to school personnel.
Also to connect students struggling with behavioral or mental health issues and their families to the appropriate services to help them.
Dunn says the state reviewed all of the school systems to see where the funds were most needed. Number 6 LSU, the talk of college football with its 2 victories over top 10 ranked teams. Coach Ed Orgeron says they still have several tough games left to play this season. They have to get better if they want to win those games.
Very pleased that we're 3-0, but there are some things that we need to get better at to get to where we want to go. We got to take it 1 week at a time and get better every week. This is a big week for us of improvement.
Next up for LSU, Louisiana Tech this Saturday. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Nine after 6 o'clock, KEEL traffic. Here's Ruben.
Starting things off looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Southfield Road near Uri Drive. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast, partly sunny and very hot with a high of 96 today. Partly cloudy tonight, low 76. Partly sunny and very hot, high 97 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Good morning. It's 6:11. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Don't forget the KEEL app is a free download. Sounds awesome from Office Furniture Source. I have so many questions, I hardly know where to begin.
Okay.
Let's start with Adrian Perkins. Mayoral candidate Adrian Perkins. We had the post on KEEL a couple of days ago. It was your post, I believe, on. It wasn't.
No.
Who posted that?
Greg did that.
Was it a Sunday afternoon? Or, yes, it had to be over the weekend, right?
He did it yesterday, actually.
That Perkins was, well, do you have it in front of you?
No, I'm looking for his response to it.
Dig the story. Well, I'll dig up the Perkins.
I'm working on that
Basically,
now.
what it said was that mayoral candidate Adrian Perkins, in a controversial move, was endorsing the candidacy, the nomination of Trump nominee Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the case. Now,
No.
Greg's source was, what was the whole deal?
There was a letter that was being sent out. It was pretty...
From Harvard.
Yeah, from Harvard. Here's
I don't know if it
Adrian's
was the law
response.
school. Go ahead, because it's
His
pretty...
response explains
His is
it.
very detailed.
On September 6th, a student from Harvard Law Record emailed me questioning the legitimacy of some of the names listed as supporters on a letter regarding Judge Kavanaugh. I emailed the student back and informed them that I did not authorize the use of my name in that document. The article falsely states I signed the letter. However, my signature cannot be found anywhere on the document.
So obviously, pardon me, obviously Adrian's name was on this letter that came from the Harvard Law Record, which listed a number of people who were endorsing Kavanaugh's nomination.
Yep. Several of the other past presidents who are listed in that letter have also confirmed their names were listed without their consent. In response, I've emailed the Senate Judiciary Committee and requested that my name be removed from the letter. I've attached a copy of that letter along with the email the Harvard Law Record sent me and my response to them. Here's where it gets juicy. It has also...
What do you mean juicy?
Wait. You haven't read this yet?
Huh. I mean, I read Adrian's Facebook page.
No, you didn't if you didn't hear the juicy part.
Well, go ahead.
It has come to my attention that the city attorney, William Bradford, began sending this article containing false information to my potential supporters at 8:30 today.
Pardon me just another moment. City Attorney William Bradford, is that an elected position? No, I don't think so.
Appointed.
It is appointed, and he was appointed by
Mayor Ollie Tyler.
Do you think, and I guess we can certainly text Mr. Bradford and see that I assume he did this
It gets better.
in good faith, thinking that Adrian actually was endorsing the Kavanaugh nomination. Please proceed.
This was an attempt to negatively impact my campaign. This should raise concerns, as he is supposed to be the city's attorney and not the current mayor's political attorney. I realize this is politics as usual. However, I will not be part of these games. My focus is on the future of Shreveport and becoming your next leader.
Well, first of all, he's not part of the games, other than that his name was used.
Here's my problem. If you're the city attorney at 8:30 in the morning, are you on the clock?
I would imagine no.
I would imagine yes. The mayor gets to work at 7. She expects her people to be in the office.
Do you think that
You cannot do politicking on my dime.
Do you think that everything that every city employee does from 8 a.m. or 8:30
No, and I'm not naive.
until 5?
But this is easily traceable. We can track this. We can see who you did it come from your personal email? That's fine if it did. But if it came from a city.
Let me ask you.
No, not if you're on the clock.
If it came from his personal email, from his office, do you have a problem with that?
While he's on my clock, yeah. You cannot be politicking on my dime. And you know what?
How's about playing video games on your dime? How about looking at porn on your dime?
I understand.
How's about doing any of the other things?
If I catch you doing it, you're in trouble.
That city
well, it looks like I've caught you doing it.
That municipal, federal, state employees do every single day.
Let me just tell you something about his boss, about William Bradford's boss, Ollie Tyler, and
not Willie Bradford, William Bradford.
Right. I'm not in Ollie's camp. I don't even know who I'm voting for. I have problems with her as well. But she told me pointedly when I sent her an email that was wait a minute, shut up. It was campaign related.
Now,
wait a minute.
I just want you to back up and tell the story, because not everybody knows. Tell the story about the email you sent.
I'm getting ready to.
Okay, but you stopped talking.
No, I was getting ready to.
Okay, go ahead.
I send an email requesting all the candidates to come in. Well, I sent it to the only email address I had for her, which was at City Hall. She replied back, I don't handle election business from this email. You can text me on my other phone line, which she has, and we can handle it through that.
Interesting. That's not the example that I was thinking of.
She doesn't handle election stuff while she's in office.
I was thinking of the example that we got. It was a whole layout, like a presentation. Remember that we got from the city? And it correct me if I'm wrong, because you went kind of crazy. And it noted the accomplishments. Was it the accomplishments of the Tyler administration, but it was on city letterhead or something? You remember what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Oh, my God, you went nuts. And it was, in fact, I could be wrong, but I think it was one of the days that Miss Ollie came in and spoke to us, spent 30 minutes or an hour with us. And she gave you that folder. And you said, they can't do this because it has the city logo at the top or something. I don't remember.
Oh, that was the election thing.
Okay, so
no, she was telling people to vote. You can't tell people to vote. You cannot promote the word vote if you're paying for it, if the city's paying for it.
Okay, that was it.
Yeah.
So obviously the record there is not 100% spick and span clean.
No, but you know what? William Bradford, perhaps he wasn't on the clock yet. I don't know. I don't know this. But I don't want the city attorney getting in the middle of politics and things that are, this is obviously not true.
But he's
appointed, I know.
Whether he believed it to be true, and if, let's say theoretically it had turned out to be true, that Adrian Perkins was in fact, as he says he is not, a backer of the nomination of Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court. Let's assume for the moment that Adrian really felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
You'd obviously still have a problem with him doing that, because Bradford, I mean.
Right.
Because obviously, even if Adrian were a backer of the current SCOTUS nominee, he would have been doing it on city time.
Right.
And he would, in your mind, have been doing it because he would have been targeting a voter demographic where he thought that the backing of Kavanaugh by Perkins would, in fact, hurt Perkins.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I.e., lots of Democrats.
Mm-hmm. I don't like when things get this messy. I really don't. And I'm going to try to call Adrian. I'm emailing William Bradford right now.
So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter whether William thought it was, City Attorney Bradford thought it was legit or not, whether he thought that Perkins was backing the Kavanaugh nomination or not.
Mm-hmm. He just sent it out there because it was going to hurt Perkins, he thought.
Either way.
Right.
Either way. We'll see what we hear as the morning rolls on.
Oh, yeah.
19 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Did you watch the Emmys last night?
No.
Nobody watched the Emmys last night. Why did you avoid the Emmys? It's on the KEEL Facebook page, by the way. Did you watch the Emmys last night? We want to know what you think. Did you watch the Emmys last night? If you did, why? If you did not, why not? Guess what? They hate Trump. Hollywood. Who'd have seen this coming?
I posted that monologue this morning just a few minutes ago,
Which
and
one
it
you
went.
talking
The
about?
Emmy monologue. It went flat.
Which one are you talking about?
The Colin Jost, whatever they were. There's a piece on the website, KEELnews.com.
I did. I saw a reference to that last night, and late, and I didn't pay much attention.
It was bad.
Because it was the Emmys. 19 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Tuesday morning traffic. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-20 westbound's got to clear all the way to Dallas right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 northbound near Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD. Looks like I-20 westbound's got to clear all the way to Dallas right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 northbound near Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. It is time for sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Northwestern State's Shelton Epler earned the Southland Conference and the Louisiana Sports Writers Association Offensive Player of the Week after the Demon torched Lamar Saturday for a school record 474 yards passing, and 6 touchdowns. That's another new high in Demon history. LSU's Grant Delpit won the LSWA Defensive Award for the week with his 10-tackle, 1-pick performance at Auburn. Teammate Cole Kick Tracy was named the Special Teams Player of the Week for his 3-field-goal performance at Auburn. LSU Sports Information Office believes it's the first LSU walk-off kick for a win in regulation since October 25th, 1941 against Florida. Tracy also earned SEC Special Teamer of the Week. Tigers quarterback Joe Burrow picked up the league's Offensive Player of the Week honors after leading LSU back to a victory from a 21-10 deficit. The Chicago Bears beat the Seattle Seahawks 24-17 last night. Mitch Trubisky threw a pair of touchdowns for Chicago. Russell Wilson threw 3 touchdown passes, 2 for his Seahawks and 1 for Chicago, a fourth-quarter pick-6 when Seattle trailed 17-10. The Astros were beaten by Seattle 4-1, so with 12 games to play, the defending World Series champs are 4 games ahead of second-place Oakland in the American League West. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Which did you like better, the 80s or the 90s?
Ooh.
Or the same... Well, you got married in what year? 90 what?
89.
89.
Yeah. I guess not the 80s. That's the decade my father died. I guess I'd have to say 90s. That's when my kids were born.
Isn't it interesting that you identify an entire decade by one event?
Yeah. One event wrecks a whole decade.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright, and Erin. See, the 80s were awesome for me. It was just like a big party.
Mm-hmm.
70s, I hated. I've told you this before. I hated the 70s.
Oh, the 70s I love.
70s, I was like 1970. It was 18 to 28.
I love the 70s.
No, well, because you were a kid. See,
well,
I was
teenager, yeah.
But see, I was like it. I've talked about this before. In fact, there's another one on now. HBO seems to have this love affair with the 70s and or early 80s. They had the miniseries called Vinyl, which was basically about the record business and radio industry in the early to mid-70s. Mm-hmm. And now they have another series on called The Deuce, which is about Times Square and sort of the early days of the porn industry in New York City in the early to mid-70s. Mm-hmm. And I watched that when I was in my it was, to me, and I've told you this before, the 70s were just dirty and icky and just smoky and awful. And I've said only half jokingly, on December 31st, 1979, I felt like I should take a shower. Because the 70s were finally over.
Oh, God.
Thank God.
I loved them.
I have a question, and it's about the Backstreet Boys and the gang trial.
It's not the Backstreet Boys.
The back door, what is it?
It's the Block Boys.
The Block Boys. Read to me, I don't know if you wrote a couple of stories on that for newscasts all morning long, but read to me the story that you have, and I have a question. Would you do that for me?
Okay, sure.
Okay, the Block Boys.
Yeah.
Now, what are the Block Boys? Who are these guys?
They are gang members who were roaming our area from 2012 to 2017.
What neighborhood specifically? Or
Queensboro, Ingleside.
Okay.
Ingleside is that area off of Hearn Avenue.
If I asked you, if I said, how many guys, how many members of the Block Boys gang were there? Would you say 20, 50, 200?
I don't know. I think there's 9 of them on trial. but some have pled guilty already. One is waiting something. 5 are now on trial right now.
Racketeering?
It's kind of
Ruben, Google racketeering.
It's gang. It's
if you don't already know,
organized crime, if you will.
Yeah.
I mean,
is it just sort of a catch-all for organized crime?
Kinda, yeah. Kind of having sort of an organized gang.
Well, go ahead and
the racketeering's one of the charges. They've got drug-related charges. Dealing drugs, robbing rival gang members.
Read the story the way you wrote it, because I have do you have it?
It's basically just offering a dishonest service or running a racket.
So Erin's a racketeer.
So maybe they were running numbers or something.
Need tickets? It's Erin McCarty, a racketeer.
Oh, Lord.
So, okay, back to your story.
5 suspected members of the Block Boys gang went on trial yesterday, facing charges ranging from racketeering to drug-related infractions.
Keep going.
The Block Boys have been accused by federal authorities of dealing drugs and robbing rival gang members in Shreveport's Queensboro and Ingleside neighborhoods.
Not to it yet.
Where they operated heavily from 2012 to 2017.
Yeah.
Security will be tight at the federal courthouse in Shreveport.
Ding, 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 ding. Okay. My question to you is, why do they need extra security at the courthouse?
Oh, just because.
What are they afraid might happen?
These are dangerous folks. Some of their buddies may still be out there.
That's my question. Do they think that there may be like a Bonnie and Clyde escape, free these guys attempt? What are they concerned about?
Well, they're dangerous guys, and you never know who they have influenced.
Back to my original question.
Right.
What are they afraid?
They do this when anything like this, any big gang trial, there's going to be extra security. It's pretty standard. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Are they concerned that 20 or 30 other members of the Block Boys may come in there guns a-blazing and try to shoot their way out?
You know, when they have a trial like this, I'm sure they sit down and go, what's the worst thing that could happen? And that's probably on the list.
Yeah.
You know, an escape attempt. I
mean, that would be the only thing I could think. Look, I'm not trying to paint a picture of disaster nor incompetence.
Right.
My only question is, if you have extra security, it's because in your worst case scenario, there could be that they may try to bust them out.
Yes.
That's the only thing I can think.
Absolutely.
And we want to have a show of force that is...
Or disrupt the trial.
Have a show of force that is so strong to a degree that they would never, that nobody would ever try a thing.
Yeah, that's exactly where they are, and that's what they're working on. And you'll see a lot of security down there. The thing that I find interesting is the trial could take 3 to 5 weeks. That's a long trial. But there's 5 guys.
101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. You're pointing.
We need to replay our interview yesterday with Treasurer John Schroeder.
Because
it's good stuff.
Yeah.
$300 million they found under the sofa cushions.
And you had a question about that I'll try to clear up, because not you have a misunderstanding, but you have repeatedly said, so how could the budget be so wrong? The budget's not wrong. The budget is not wrong. I will explain when we get back, okay? Then we'll run Schroeder at 40.
Perfect.
And we are attempting to track down Adrian Perkins and City Attorney William Bradford. We'll see if they will chat with us today. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Local news just ahead. Here's Ruben.
Starting things off looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Southfield Road near Uri Drive. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast, very hot today, partly sunny, high 96, then patchy clouds, low 76 tonight, partly sunny and very hot again tomorrow, high 97. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
what is this, early 60s maybe? Pretty 392.
Good morning, guys. How y'all?
Well, let's start with the 100 million.
Well, let me tell you.
FM. Okay down there?
I'm great. How about you?
Sweats are flying down there. It's like
I have sent my email out to William Bradford.
You're a perspiration dervish.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What?
I've sent my email out to William Bradford. I copied the mayor on it, and we're with regard to the Adrian Perkins thing. But you said something about the $300 million, the missing money.
Oh. Well, you kept asking the question yesterday. Okay, if you don't know the story, if you just sort of caught it yesterday, State Treasurer John Schroeder says we've got a $300 million state budget surplus.
Yeah.
Now he's in charge of the money. He's in charge of doing the books. Okay. And you said, well, how could it be so wrong?
Who got it wrong?
Nobody got it wrong. There's nothing wrong. Let me explain this to you.
I don't get it.
Let's say the budget to operate Erin's household is $10. Okay? And Erin says to all the people in her household
who I dole out money to,
we're not going to have $10. We're not going to get enough tax money. We're not going to get $10 in taxes.
We're only going to get $8.
As a result, we have to raise everyone's taxes. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Are you starting to draw the analogies here? So Governor Erin, who says we need $10 to run the household, says, but we're not going to get $10. So we need to take more money from the citizens of the household
to get it up to 10,
so we don't have to stop football or throw old people in the streets.
Yeah.
So everybody in the household goes, oh, crap, we're going to throw old people in the streets?
We don't want to do that.
We're going to cancel football?
No food stamps?
Here's some more of our money.
Yeah, take some more money.
And then when it comes time to pay the household bills, it turns out that you raised $15.
Yeah.
And everybody that gave you extra money is going, WTH, Governor Erin, you told us we were only going to raise 8 and you needed more of our money just to make 10. Now you've got 15. So you tell me, in that equation, Governor Erin, in that financial equation, who, to use your words, got it wrong? Did Governor Erin get it wrong?
Governor Erin didn't know the extra money was coming in, supposedly.
There were those.
Governor Erin only thought 8 was coming in.
There were those in the household who repeatedly pointed out to Governor Erin, no, we have plenty of money.
Well, those were people who always oppose Governor Erin.
Erin's purpose is to grow government, to take more money, to dish out more entitlements, and to make the state even more powerful and keep the thumb of oppression, of economic oppression.
Before we take a break, so are you telling me Governor Erin either lied or is incompetent? Are those the only two choices?
There is an election in November. 639, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update right now. If you missed our chat with, I want to say Treasury Secretary, with Treasurer John Schroeder, that is coming up next on KEEL. Here's traffic.
Looks like I-20 westbound's got to clear all the way to Dallas right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 northbound near Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast, partly sunny and very hot with a high of 96 today. Partly cloudy tonight, low 76. Partly sunny and very hot, high 97 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
That's what I would do. I would, first of all, I wouldn't have supported raising taxes. I would have made difficult decisions and had less government than more. We're so broke. Look, my wife's a retired teacher. I would have made difficult decisions and had less government than more. Well, let me tell you.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Woo. Okay, so yesterday we chatted with Treasurer John Schroeder about the $300 million budget surplus in the state.
Oh, it's a miracle.
Well, not exactly miraculous. And that's where we kind of started. Does my household budget analogy, does that make a little sense to you?
It does.
Okay.
It does.
So do you have how did we go so wrong? Not we. There were plenty of people who said to Governor John Bel Edwards, no, you got enough money.
We're good.
You don't have to cut LSU football.
Your estimates are wrong.
You don't have to throw people out that they suspected all along that he wanted, just like expanding Medicaid. You know, it is going to cost the state a whole bunch of money. Might not be worth it in the long run.
Yeah.
Taking more money from the citizens of your state. And remind me after 7 o'clock if we don't have a guest.
Okay.
Remind me, because this came up with somebody yesterday, and it has to do with my Texas-Louisiana analogy. Don't let me forget.
Okay.
It has to do with why we in America are so divided politically right now.
Oh, I want to hear that.
I've got an explanation for you. In the meantime, the state of Louisiana, a $300 million budget surplus. That's where we started with Treasurer John Schroeder. How on earth? Tell us about this.
Where did all this money come from?
What happened?
Well, let me tell you, we finished up with a balance of over $400 million in cash in our account when we closed the books. Then some things need to be reconciled. They have these things called carry forwards, but at the end of the day, we will have a surplus unless they really, really do something odd, north of $300 million.
How does that happen, Mr. Schroeder? How do we not know that we have $300 million? What did we miscalculate, and who did it?
Yeah, I'm not quite ready. This is probably a couple days early, and let me just start off with this. I really wasn't ready to have this conversation, but somehow the media found out. Your colleagues over there on the print side, and I got a phone call, I think on Thursday, and so when the media calls, you got one or two choices. You either talk to them or you put the information out the way you want. And I chose to put the information out rather than the media doing it.
The impression, the impression that we've gotten from the governor, or at least the governor's folks, is that you might be talking a little early. That maybe it's some kind of miscalculation. That it's really too early to say what that number is, if that number really exists at all. Do you think they're the ones being? Do you think they're the ones jumping the gun?
Well, let me ask you something. If you supported raising taxes and all of a sudden you had a $300 million surplus, what would you say?
Yeah, I'd be a little mystified by how this happens.
Yeah.
So how do you think down the line the governor and his folks are going to explain this?
Oh, spin, 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 then more spin, spin, spin. They're going to come out with some great talking points, talk to you how great the economy's doing, but at the end of the day, as we sit on this Monday in September, government's growing, getting bigger, fatter, more out of growth.
So in your mind, pardon me, Mr. John, so in your mind, the governor is going to come out in the next, say, 72 hours, or at least when these numbers are solidified. Governor John Bel Edwards is going to stand up and say, $300 million extra, this is awesome. What can I spend it on?
Well, that's my biggest problem, to be honest with you. It's not a bad thing to have a surplus, but it is a bad thing to have a surplus on top of a huge sales tax increase, because it was all doom and gloom. no more football at LSU. And worse than anything, we're going to kick elderly out of nursing homes, all to find out that we're going to have a surplus. We're definitely going to have a surplus. You can take that to the bank.
How did somebody not know that, John? How did nobody in state government? We had a few of our local lawmakers who were saying, "Hey, these numbers are messed up," but nobody in state leadership said, "You guys, it's not as bad as we're saying."
Yeah, and I'm not prepared yet, and I will know. And I don't know how long it'll take me. A day, 2 days, 3 days. I haven't yet seen all the data on where these numbers come from. I have a good idea, and I have talked with staff, obviously, but these are some things that I need to lay my eyes on and make sure I'm correct before I speak.
Do you think? Is there any possibility that $300 million, that number of $300 million, might be low?
No, it's going to be right around that. It's going to be right around that. Now that's not counting, the online sales tax that will somehow go into effect early next year. These are numbers that, this is money that's already sitting in our coffers and from a variety of different areas.
Now, you and the governor have disagreed, and I'm sure will continue to do so. But if John Schroeder were in that governor's chair, what would you do with that? What would you do with that $300 million? Would you give it back?
Well, it's not our money. It belongs to you and the citizens of Louisiana. My problem with not only this governor but even the past governors, we take these surpluses and it's constitutionally mandated on what you do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows we have infrastructure problems, but we tend to spend some of this money on pet projects, which just drives me absolutely nuts when we have severe infrastructure problems. So that's my biggest heartburn with it. Again, it's not a bad thing to have a surplus. It is, in my opinion, probably not a good thing on top of raising the taxes on the people of Louisiana. We will see these numbers. They're not going to be able to run and hide from them. We will know how much came from tax collections, whether that be income or sales. We'll be able to identify exactly what made this money up. And then you know what? We'll see what happens. I'll be willing to bet you that you're really not going to like it. I think it's going to come from a good portion of it's going to come from tax collections, which means somebody missed the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a pretty good tune. But again, that's data that I haven't seen yet. This has all sort of happened, since last Thursday. I wasn't in Baton Rouge on Friday, so I haven't seen the numbers myself. I'm talking to my staff. And again, if the media doesn't call me, we're probably not even talking about this yet.
Will you keep in touch with us? Because I want to know how it gets so out of whack. I want to kind of drill down and find out, how did we miss the mark by so much, and therefore putting a tax burden on me and everybody else in this state?
Yeah, I guess absolutely I'll do that. You guys have always, reported accurately, and yes, I don't have a problem with that. I guess the bottom line is this: you have an administration whose number one focus is to grow this government and not to keep it in check. I want to keep it in check. It's just a totally different philosophy. I'm going to look and see where we can save every penny. You asked what I would do. That's what I would do. I would, first of all, I wouldn't have supported raising taxes. I would have made difficult decisions and had less government than more.
Good morning. It's 6:52. It's 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Latest traffic update. Here we go.
Starting things off looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Southfield Road near Uri Drive. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast: partly sunny and very hot with a high of 96 today. Partly cloudy tonight, low 76. Partly sunny and very hot, high 97 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
.1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Northwestern State's Shelton Epler earned the Southland Conference and the Louisiana Sports Writers Association Offensive Player of the Week after the Demon torched Lamar Saturday for a school record 474 yards passing and 6 touchdowns. That's another new high in Demon history. LSU's Grant Delpit won the LSWA Defensive Award for the week with his 10-tackle, 1-pick performance at Auburn. Teammate Cole Kick Tracy was named the Special Teams Player of the Week for his 3-field goal performance at Auburn. LSU Sports Information Office believes it's the first LSU walk-off kick for a win in regulation since October 25th, 1941 against Florida. Tracy also earned SEC Special Teamer of the Week. Tigers quarterback Joe Burrow picked up the league's Offensive Player of the Week honors after leading LSU back to a victory from a 21-10 deficit. The Chicago Bears beat the Seattle Seahawks 24-17 last night. Mitch Trubisky threw a pair of touchdowns for Chicago. Russell Wilson threw 3 touchdown passes, 2 for his Seahawks and 1 for Chicago. A fourth-quarter pick six when Seattle trailed 17-10. The Astros were beaten by Seattle 4-1, so with 12 games to play, the defending World Series champs are 4 games ahead of second-place Oakland in the American League West. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin. Local news, Fox News, both just ahead. Meantime, here's Rush.
New York Times columnist Roger Cohen's a drive-by media veteran. He was brave enough to tell his deranged liberal readers this is not the end of Trump. Now, liberals have been drooling over the Michael Cohen and Paul Manafort plea deals with Robert Mueller. They have been celebrating the primary wins of their radical kook progressive candidates. And thanks to drive-by media polls, they think that Trump's approval is in the toilet. They really believe that Trump is finally finished this time, that the midterms are already over, the Democrats have won the House, probably will win the Senate, and impeachment is a sure bet. But Roger Cohen thinks not. He knows the Democrat Party is out of touch with the America that elected Trump. And he warns liberals that with a booming economy, President Trump has a great chance of being reelected in 2020. I mean, even if Democrats do gain the House, impeachment will go nowhere in the Senate. It'll just energize Trump's base. Now, Cohen makes sense, which is exactly why he will not convince liberals. Trump hate is all they know. It's all that animates them, and it's all they want to know. So they're ripe for the picking. Cyber criminals, cyber bad guys can attack your laptop, your tablet, your smartphone without you even knowing. Or they can steal your identity, and you may not realize it until it's too late. That's why LifeLock Identity Theft Protection now includes the power of Norton Security to help protect your identity and your devices. LifeLock uses proprietary technology to help detect a range of threats to your identity. And Norton Security protects against online threats like ransomware or malware. And if there is a problem, LifeLock with Norton has agents who will work to fix it. Now, no one can prevent all identity theft or cybercrime or monitor transactions in all businesses, but new LifeLock with Norton Security provides more detection and more protection against cyber threats. Go to lifelock.com or call 800-440-4833. Use the promo code RUSH for an additional 10% off your first year, plus a $25 Amazon gift card with annual enrollment. Terms apply.
Starting things off looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Southfield Road near Uri Drive. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport. The KEEL Morning Show with Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Breaking news and trending talk on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Good morning at 7:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Erin has local news in just a second or two.
Adrian Perkins says he did not endorse Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, and he's got some pretty strong allegations to go with that. Louisiana's got $300 million more money than we expected, and lots of security around the federal courthouse in Shreveport for the Block Boys gang trial.
Erin's watching her phone basically like a teenager. She has contacted a mayoral candidate. She has contacted a city attorney. And well, I'll tell you what, we'll talk about that.
So far, crickets.
Bring you up to date on what that's all about. Plus, Fletcher and sports and traffic and weather. It's all coming up this hour, and it's here, and it's on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Adrian Perkins strongly denies the endorsement of Brett Kavanaugh. Reuben Wright has more.
Mayoral candidate Adrian Perkins ended up with his name on a letter from the Black Law Students Association of Harvard Law School endorsing Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. However, Perkins sent a letter back claiming that his name was never authorized for use and should be removed from the letter. Perkins also claims that Shreveport City Attorney Willie Bradford was the one spreading the letter around via email. Perkins said he never knew or met Brett Kavanaugh. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Reuben Wright.
Louisiana looking at a $300 million surplus from the last budget year. We asked State Treasurer John Schroeder how we got the budget numbers so wrong.
I'm not quite ready. This is probably a couple days early.
State Representative Dodie Horton says she wants to roll that nearly half a penny temporary sales tax off the books, though.
We knew that we would be what our state would be collecting would be increasing, and as far as I know, we haven't even started collecting the sales tax from remote dealers, internet dealers, that we will be collecting.
While the governor admits there is a surplus, we won't know the exact number, he says, until the middle of next month. The Facebook Live killer wants to plead guilty to end his trial. Jonathan Robinson, the man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend, Renita Williams, while she streamed on Facebook Live, interrupted attorneys who were arguing over when a death penalty certified lawyer would be made available. Robinson wanted to keep his public defender and get the hearing over with. 5 suspected members of the Block Boys gang on trial, facing charges ranging from racketeering to drug-related infractions. The Block Boys have been accused by federal authorities of dealing drugs and robbing rival gang members in Shreveport's Queensboro and Ingleside neighborhoods. An officer has now been identified in the Saturday shooting on 80th and Dillman. SPD Sergeant Michael Jones is the officer that responded to a call of 2 men walking in the street and firing guns. When Jones arrived, the 2 men pulled guns and took aim at him. Sergeant Jones fired shots, striking the 2 men, sending them to the hospital with life-threatening wounds. Louisiana will get a $1.8 million a year over the next 5 years to establish a comprehensive Louisiana school mental health support program in 34 schools. Education spokesperson Sydney Dunn says it'll help provide special training to school personnel.
Also to connect students struggling with behavioral or mental health issues and their families to the appropriate services to help them.
Dunn says the state reviewed all of the school systems to see where the funds were most needed. Number 6 LSU, the talk of college football with its 2 victories over top 10 ranked teams. Coach Ed Orgeron says they still have several tough games left to play this season. They have to get better if they want to win those games.
Very pleased that we're 3-0, but there are some things that we need to get better at to get to where we want to go. We got to take it 1 week at a time and get better every week. This is a big week for us, an improvement.
Next up for LSU, Louisiana Tech this Saturday. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Nine past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Traffic update. Here we go.
Looks like I-20 westbound's got to clear all the way to Dallas right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 northbound near Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast, partly sunny and very hot with a high of 96 today. Partly cloudy tonight, low 76. Partly sunny and very hot, high 97 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
You know, some days you just have to be in the mood to parse and dissect things.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm not sure my brain's locked in for that this morning.
I'm ready.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Shreveport Security Systems text line is... Huh?
Go ahead, Al. Go ahead.
Shreveport, you're jumping at the gun. He's like a horse in the gate. Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. That's 318-392-1884. So
I'll do all the P&D over here.
Was it early in the day yesterday? Was it late on Sunday that we had a post on the website?
Yesterday.
That basically said that mayoral candidate Adrian Perkins was publicly endorsing the Trump nominee for the Supreme Court, Brett Kavanaugh. And it was based on a letter that was being distributed by the Harvard Law Record. Now, Mr. Perkins, in addition to being a West Point grad, is also a graduate of Harvard Law School. I would assume that Harvard Law School and the Harvard Law Record are somehow intertwined. The point being, the Harvard Law Record listed Mr. Perkins as someone who was publicly endorsing the Trump nominee, Mr. Kavanaugh, Judge Kavanaugh.
Right.
That letter from the Harvard Law Record which contained the names of a number of Democrat endorsers, Perkins among them, was being distributed by Republicans. Fair enough?
Yes.
As a way to drum up support, saying, see, Kavanaugh has across-the-aisle backing. Even this guy in Shreveport, this former West Point grad, this former Army captain, I think Adrian was a captain, this guy who's running for mayor in Shreveport, this Democrat Adrian Perkins, thinks that Judge Kavanaugh is cool.
Right.
Not so fast.
Yep. Adrian Perkins says he never signed the letter. His signature can never be found. He does not support Kavanaugh. He didn't say it in so many words, but he says, I emailed the Senate Judiciary Committee and requested that my name be removed from the letter. It was used without my consent.
So Mr. Perkins says Harvard Law Record just threw his name on there, either purposely or mistakenly, but in a misleading way.
Yep. It has also come to my attention, Perkins writes, that the city attorney, William Bradford, began sending this article containing false information to my potential supporters at 8:30 a.m. today, meaning Monday, in an attempt to negatively impact my campaign. This should raise concerns, as he is supposed to be the city's attorney and not the current mayor's political attorney.
Now, the city attorney, that's not an elected position. That is appointed. So basically, he serves at the pleasure of the mayor. Fair enough. Which in this case is Ollie Tyler. Now, would it be safe to assume, and I guess we can ask him when he gets back to us, would it be safe to assume that Adrian knew about this or the email being sent out by Attorney Bradford because he had seen it himself?
He got copies of that email, apparently.
So I assume that he got it from people who
knew both of them, I guess. So I sent this email this morning.
Okay, go ahead.
To Mr. Bradford.
Attorney Bradford.
Copied the mayor on it, just FYI. Mr. Bradford, did you send out the Harvard letter on the Kavanaugh endorsement to anyone? If so, did this happen at 8:30 a.m. as Adrian Perkins claims? Were you on the job when this allegedly happened? I just got this back from Mr. Bradford. Erin, I did not email the letter in an effort to impact the mayoral race to anyone like Adrian claims.
So basically he's saying I did it.
I did it, but not to impact the race.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm not jumping the gun here. I'm not reading too much between the lines.
I think you're right about that.
So he's saying, yeah, I emailed it.
But it was not to impact the race. Just to let folks know.
It wasn't political in nature.
It has been shared with me, and like most other citizens, I've discussed it with my friends and associates. I did not use city time nor city resources to distribute or discuss this article. Did you receive it from me? Did any news outlet receive it from me? Did any of your listeners receive it from me? These are all rhetorical questions because the answer is no.
Hell, he could have gotten it from KEEL.
Don't know. Then I asked him, would it be fair to say you thought the Perkins endorsement of Kavanaugh was legitimate? Do you want to come on the air to address his allegations against you? And Mr. Bradford just replied again, I won't weigh in on that portion of the conversation. I appreciate the invitation to come on the air, but I would honestly like the focus of the discussion to return to Mr. Perkins. I am focused on the needs of the city. Signed, William.
Why should there be, if the facts are as Mr. Perkins states them, and they are facts that to this point Mr. Bradford does not dispute, right?
Right.
So if the facts are as Mr. Perkins states them, that the Harvard Law Record attached his name to a Kavanaugh endorsement, and he did not at any point endorse Kavanaugh or give them permission to use his name, then how is in any way any of this about Perkins? As Mr. Bradford says, the conversation he just said, read that last line again. Go ahead.
He said, I would honestly like the focus of the discussion to return to Mr. Perkins.
Why? What's the purpose? If Adrian's right, and the Harvard Law Record used his name without his permission, if they did so in an illegitimate and incorrect way, in what way is any of this having anything to do with Perkins?
Well, because Perkins is the one whose name was used. He wants his name pulled. His name is
what
now
I'm-
his name is now in the record on the Senate Judiciary Committee minutes that he endorsed Kavanaugh. He wants that removed.
But listen to the way that Mr. Bradford phrased it. The
Mm-hmm.
discussion should be about Perkins. Well, Perkins didn't do anything.
He just sent me another email, Mr. Bradford. Let me be clear, and in all caps, I did not email the letter.
Ooh. Somewhat. Maybe we jumped.
Now he's real clear.
Read the first sentence of his previous email.
The first one says, I did not email the letter in an effort to impact the mayoral race to anyone like Adrian claims.
And then in an email that we got literally 20 seconds ago, he says,
Let me be clear. I did not email the letter. So now I'm waiting on the email from Perkins. He's going to send me copies, he says, that show it came from Mr. Bradford, supposedly. And but I haven't seen it yet. I'm waiting to see. And then we shall
But do
see.
you see-
But
you
now
s-
Mr. Bradford says adamantly he did not email it.
but do you see my point about Perkins? Look, I'm not on Perkins' side either. It as we discuss these candidates, it's a discussion of the in-the-moment facts.
Right.
When Attorney Bradford says the discussion should be about Perkins, what?
It is about Perkins. If I were to come out and if somebody put a letter out saying that Erin McCarty endorsed David Duke,
I guess
I would be screaming bloody murder. No, I did not endorse David Duke. That's not no.
But when you
it would be about me.
But when you say, I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it. But the discussion wouldn't really be about McCarty, because then it's sort of the implication is that McCarty is somewhat at fault. Oh, this should be about Erin McCarty. This discussion's not about me. It's about Erin McCarty. This discussion shouldn't be about me or the emails. It should be about Adrian Perkins. Am I jumping the gun? Am I reading too much into that?
You're reading too much into it.
19 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic update coming up right now.
Looks like mostly clear roadway so far this morning in the Shreveport-Bossier City area, but that could change at any moment. If you see anything, make sure you let us know by calling us on the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast, very hot today, partly sunny, high 96, then patchy clouds, low 76 tonight, partly sunny and very hot again tomorrow, high 97. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
This flu season.
Twenty-one past 7 o'clock. Keel Sports. Here's Tim.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Northwestern State's Shelton Epler earned the Southland Conference and the Louisiana Sports Writers Association Offensive Player of the Week after the Demon torched Lamar Saturday for a school record 474 yards passing and 6 touchdowns. That's another new high in Demon history. LSU's Grant Delpit won the LSWA Defensive Award for the week with his 10-tackle, 1-pick performance at Auburn. Teammate Cole Kick Tracy was named the Special Teams Player of the Week for his 3-field goal performance at Auburn. LSU Sports Information Office believes it's the first LSU walk-off kick for a win in regulation since October 25th, 1941 against Florida. Tracy also earned SEC Special Teamer of the Week. Tigers quarterback Joe Burrow picked up the league's Offensive Player of the Week honors after leading LSU back to a victory from a 21-10 deficit. The Chicago Bears beat the Seattle Seahawks 24-17 last night. Mitch Trubisky threw a pair of touchdowns for Chicago. Russell Wilson threw 3 touchdown passes, 2 for his Seahawks and 1 for Chicago, a fourth-quarter pick-6 when Seattle trailed 17-10. The Astros were beaten by Seattle 4-1, so with 12 games to play, the defending World Series champs are 4 games ahead of second-place Oakland in the American League West. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Name it and claim it. If you can name this band, I'll take you to
Stray Cats?
No.
No?
Little Feet.
Little Feet. Okay.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 24 past 7 o'clock. So you said something. Can I tell him what you said during the break?
You're going to tell him anyway.
No. If you said,
go ahead.
You don't mind.
I don't mind. Whatever. Throw me under there again.
Erin has been texting any number of folks this morning, folks in the political eye, among them City Attorney William Bradford, who got back to his PDQ.
Yeah, pretty darn quick.
And we appreciate that and he was very clear in what he says he did and or did not do.
Right to the point, yep.
You texted Adrian about 30 minutes ago, Perkins, and he has not gotten back yet. You texted a couple of other folks on other topics. They have not responded. Now, if Matt were here, if Matt were not in New Orleans, just getting back to his hotel room.
Yeah, he's just arriving.
Woohoo! If Matt were here, he would be chastising you.
Yeah, he would.
For texting anybody.
Before even 7 o'clock.
Before 7 o'clock in the morning, and then getting all upset when they didn't answer. Why are they? Listen, literally, this happens.
Why are they not texting me back?
She'll text somebody at 6:45 in the morning. At 6:48, she, with all legitimacy,
I'm serious.
She'll look at Matt and me and say, "They're ducking me. Why are they ducking me?
They're dodging me.
They're ducking me. Why don't they want to talk to Erin McCarty Wallace?"
What's wrong with me?
I look. It's before 7 o'clock. Right now it's 7:25.
I forget. Some people sleep in the morning.
Adrian may have been out late. He may have been doing campaign stuff till close to midnight. You never know.
Could
the
be.
point being, during the commercial break, Erin said, I don't know if I can vote for anybody that doesn't answer me within 5 minutes. I said, okay, here's what you do. So I said, here's what you do.
Okay,
I
we're going
said,
to
you need
test.
to set up a way. You need to set up a way that you can call or text all 5 of the big boy girl candidates at one time. Tyler, Perkins, Jackson, Talaferro, and Savage. Where you can call
an instantaneous text.
They all go out at the same time.
Yeah.
And the first one that gets back to you
gets my vote.
That's who you vote for. And I said, that's like caller number 9 wins concert tickets. You can take the DJ out of the girl, but you can't. You get the idea.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
I know.
Don't. Adrian, get back to you yet?
No.
He's ducking you.
He is. And I even called him, too, and I
He's
got the
ducking you.
voicemail thingy.
You know.
Oh. I got some text convos going on right now, but I'm waiting for him.
We need, speaking of text convos, to use your lexicon.
Yeah.
I am still intrigued by, we'll talk about this again, we have always a number of local law enforcement officials, sheriff's department, police department, both in Shreveport and Bossier. A few city marshals are listening. I mean, when I say of all ranks, I'm talking about from patrolmen on the street all the way up to offices at City Hall.
Thanks for what you do, by the way, you guys, gals.
And I had asked the question about the Backstreet Boys gang trial.
It's not the Backstreet Boys.
What did I say?
You said Backstreet Boys.
What is it really?
It's the Block Boys.
I want it that way. Okay, so the Block Boys, and you had made the point a couple of times in the news stories this morning about the, quote, added security, beefed up security, special security at their racketeering, drug dealing, etc. trial. And my question was, not tongue-in-cheek, isn't the regular security enough in that if you have to have added security, what on earth could you anticipate might happen? And I'm not making fun. I'm not saying that as a joke. If you have beefed up security, because these guys are super dangerous, and I don't know if you bring them in shackles. I have no idea. So what is the concern? What are you concerned that might happen? That on a day-to-day basis, you don't have enough armed guys in that courtroom or in that building to protect whatever there is to protect.
You just have to be prepared for the worst.
So what? That's my question.
Somebody breaking them out?
So is that the question? Are they at the deep, dark recesses of their law enforcement minds? Are they thinking, man, there could be like 20 gang guys with and they could show up and there could. Is that really something they anticipate?
They don't anticipate it, but they have to be prepared for the worst. That's where they are. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best.
The Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. That's 318-392-1884 if you are in law enforcement.
There are a lot of federal marshals going to be involved in this.
Help us out with this. What are you concerned that might happen? Or there's a bunch of policemen on the SPD specifically that have my phone number, and I know they have yours.
You bet.
29 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Local news just ahead. In the meantime, traffic update.
No major accidents to report so far in the Shreveport-Bossier City area, but when that changes, make sure you let us know. If you see any kind of traffic issue, call us on the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast, very hot today, partly sunny, high 96, then patchy clouds, low 76 tonight, partly sunny and very hot again tomorrow, high 97. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
The Facebook Live killer wants to plead guilty to end his trial. Reuben Wright has that.
Jonathan Robinson, the man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend Renita Williams while she streamed on Facebook Live, interrupted attorneys who were arguing over when a death penalty certified lawyer will be made available. Robinson wanted to keep his public defender and get the hearing over with. After he was told his lawyer doesn't handle death penalty cases, he was quoted as saying, "I waived all that," referring to the prohibition that a person can't plead guilty to a death sentence. "Goins can represent me and get all this over with. It's a bunch of nonsense." Robinson is second on a waiting list to receive a public defender qualified to handle death penalty cases. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Reuben Wright.
5 suspected members of the Block Boys gang are now on trial, facing charges ranging from racketeering to drug-related infractions. The Block Boys have been accused by federal authorities of dealing drugs and robbing rival gang members in the Queensboro and Ingleside neighborhoods, where they operated from 2012 through 2017. Security expected to be tight at the federal courthouse in Shreveport for the next 3 to 5 weeks. An officer has now been identified in the Saturday shooting on 80th and Dillman. Sergeant Michael Jones is the officer that responded to a call of 2 men walking down the street firing guns. When Jones arrived, the 2 men pulled guns, taking aim at him. Sergeant Jones fired shots, striking the 2, sending them both to the hospital with life-threatening wounds. The suspects are facing several charges. Jones on paid leave, pending the investigation. Mayoral candidate Adrian Perkins ended up with his name on a letter from the Black Law Students Association of Harvard Law School endorsing Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. However, Perkins sent a letter back claiming his name was never authorized for use and should be removed from that letter. Perkins also claims Shreveport City Attorney William Bradford was the one sending the letter around via email. Perkins said he never knew or met Brett Kavanaugh. The Louisiana Board of Medical Examiners is lifting the cap on how many medical marijuana patients a doctor can treat. Previously, doctors were limited to 100 patients a year. Medical marijuana expert and prescriber Dr. Victor Cho, one of only 3 or 4 dozen in the state, says this will dramatically increase access to the treatment for those who are eligible.
The fact that physicians like myself who are actively involved can actually help as many patients as possible really does allow patients to access this program.
Medical marijuana is currently being grown in the state by GB Sciences, which is working with LSU to produce the oil and pill-based treatment. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
One 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Hold on a second. Let me find out what that app is called. Miss Melanie, thank you for the text. Shreveport Security Systems text line 318-392-1884. Blah, blah, blah. Robert, tell Erin she can text all 5 candidates using the Group Me app and see who texts back first to get her vote.
I got this from one of the mayoral candidates. OMG, I'm the worst at responding to text and email stuff. Please don't hold that against me.
On the KEEL Facebook page, I just threw out the question this morning. I said, did you watch the Emmys last night? Emmys were on last night. I watched. I did not. Did you watch it all?
None.
I was surfing across, just looking, and I came across them, and it looked like some guy who'd vote for who hated Trump, so I kept going.
Yeah.
It turned out to be the guy that I guess proposed to his girlfriend, his fiance.
That was sweet.
His girlfriend from the state.
That was the only sweet moment.
And so my question was, did you watch the Emmys last night? If you did, why? If you did not, why not? From the KEEL Facebook page. Also, your answers via the Shreveport Security Systems text line if you are inclined. Nope. I don't know if I can say these 2 words together. But if I separate them, like I can say the word jerk right now, okay?
Yeah, okay.
I can say the word jerk right now.
Oh, you can say this.
But then farther down the line, I can also say the word circle. So I'm not sure.
You can put them together yourself.
No, I
Yeah.
don't think so. I don't think so.
No, you're right.
Did you watch the Emmys last night? If you did, why? If you didn't, why not? No. And I don't watch the Oscars either. I've never been into
CJ's
group activities. I'm not a joiner. Also from the KEEL page, tired of all the anti-Trump attacks and attacks on the Second Amendment. No, I didn't watch. No, and not into liberals being liberals either. I think I'm detecting a certain, I don't know,
little
common
theme here.
thread. Let's see. Nope, not political. I just don't care.
One says yes, of course. Game of Thrones got the accolades it deserved.
That's about the only yes.
That's it.
No, I have better things to do than watch a bunch of entitled brats get gussied up and throw temper tantrums about how the world needs to be a better place. Meanwhile, all the while not doing anything really productive to make the world a better place. Here's another no, because better things were on TV. Better Call Saul and Monday Night Football.
Yeah, no better things to do than watch a bunch of liberals pat each other on the back and talk smack about our president.
No, they all think too much alike, and 99% of them all think the same wrong way.
By the way, one of the monologues from Michael Che, whatever, I don't know, just fell flat. It's at keelnews.com. Go look at it. They did not care about those guys being political.
More on Facebook. Nope, wouldn't waste my time. Nope, stopped watching years ago. And no, I didn't even know it was on. And I wouldn't watch if I had.
Nope.
739, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Traffic update. Here's Brandon.
Looks like mostly clear roadways so far this morning in the Shreveport-Bossier City area, but that could change at any moment. If you see anything, make sure you let us know by calling us on the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast, partly sunny and very hot with a high of 96 today. Partly cloudy tonight, low 76. Partly sunny and very hot, high 97 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
FM, and I have to talk slow, don't I? 1017 FM. I can't slow down unless I do the bad actor voice.
Oh, okay.
1017 FM and 710 KEEL. And the KEEL app is a free download. I just can't from Office Furniture Source. It's my natural verbal gait, if you will, is rather it's a quick tempo. Now, the reason I'm killing time here is because Ruben is tracking down mayoral candidate Adrian Perkins, who has agreed to talk with us about this whole Harvard law record, using his name in his what he says. No, that he can explain that to us.
Yeah.
1017 FM, 710 KEEL, mayoral candidate, and his mom is my neighbor. Those two are unrelated. Adrian Perkins is here. Hey, Mr. Adrian, welcome back to KEEL. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, Rob?
Okay, let's start with Harvard Law Record. What is that? How did they get your name? Did they use it without your permission? And what exactly did they say?
The Harvard Law Record is the publication at Harvard. They did not get my name. It was someone else. They didn't create the document. They were calling to check the validity of the names on the document when they reached out to me on September 6th.
Okay, so pardon me. So who put your name? What was the original document that had your name? Who put it there? And how did they get your name?
I don't know why it was put there. Again, I didn't authorize it. I didn't sign it. But the common theme of the names on the list were students that were in the Black Law Students Association.
Let me ask you this, Adrian. In your Facebook post, you claim that City Attorney William Bradford was disseminating this to draw attention away from you, to disparage your campaign, etc. Do you have proof of that? He completely denied that to me this morning.
So may I ask, what did the city attorney say?
Absolutely. Okay, here's his quote. You ready? Erin, yes. I did not email the letter in an effort to impact the mayoral race to anyone like Adrian claims. It has been shared with me, and like most other citizens, I have discussed it with my friends and associates. I did not use city time nor city resources to distribute or discuss this article.
Okay,
then
so
he went on later,
another
email, and said, let me be clear. I did not email the letter.
Gotcha, Aaron. Well, yeah, so he's playing with words a bit. He didn't email it, he texted the letter. So if I may have misspoke when I said email. So he texted the letter, and I actually have evidence of that, and I can send that in to you as well.
Please send that to me.
That's the type, but you know what, though? That's the type of misinformation that citizens get, from the administration, and it's sad because people want, especially city officials, to be straight, and they want them to be working on city time. So that's unfortunate that he would play around with words like that. But I have proof, and I've already sent it in to the news station that he was doing that on city time.
Will you send that? Will you send that to me, please?
I will. I'll text you as soon as we get off the phone.
Do you support Brett Kavanaugh at all?
I don't know him. I haven't been looking at the hearings, and I don't know his record well enough to give an endorsement. My energy has been 100% focused on Shreveport.
You just casually tossed out, I think that, and correct me if I if I didn't hear correctly. You said that you think that Mr. Bradford was, however, communicating the story. He was doing that on city time. Do you think he was? Do you have any proof of that?
Via text message. I'll send you the text message and show you, and a timestamp is on it. But again, there's multiple people that have reached out. This is just one proof of evidence of somebody that he talked to, and I know he reached out to multiple people. So this was an ongoing event.
If we might assume for a moment that Mr. Bradford was in fact in some digital form distributing the letter that incorrectly listed your name as a Kavanaugh endorser.
What's his motivation?
Yeah, he says, I was just doing it because it was an interesting story. I thought it, and I wanted my friends to see it, and I would never, ever, ever think of damaging the campaign of Adrian Perkins. You buying that?
Yeah, so I can only theorize, right? Like, I don't know I don't know what was in his mind. I didn't speak to him prior to sending it, but if you look at the comments on social media from it, a lot of them were very, very, they were really negative. So to pass something around that you see a theme of it being negative, and to say it was signed and look at the letter and see that I didn't even sign it, again, it's just not the job of the city attorney on the citizens' time. Our taxpayer dollars is paying him to figure out the legal issues of the city. Particularly, a lot of water problems are going on right now. So that's what he should be focused on, and not disseminating interesting articles on taxpayers' time.
Would an apology from him be appropriate? What do you want to happen now?
No, I don't need an apology, Aaron, but I do need, I would ask him to focus again on the issues of the city. That's what we should all be doing. If you're a true public servant, you're serving the city of Shreveport, you need to be focused on the issues of the city and not trying to get involved with the politics that's going on right now with the current election.
Speaking of focus, in the Bradford email, read to Mr. Adrian his statement about how I want the wording to be correct. I want the quote to be accurate, where he said that the story should be about Adrian. Read that exactly, because I want to get Adrian's comment.
He also replied, when I said, would it be fair to say you thought the Perkins endorsement of Kavanaugh was legitimate? He answered, and I said, do you want to come on the air? He said, I won't weigh in on that portion of the conversation. I appreciate the invitation to come on air, but I would honestly like the focus of the discussion to return to Mr. Perkins. I am focused on the needs of the city.
When he said the focus of the discussion in this story should be on you. What do you think he meant by that?
Again, it would just be speculation, so I can't even go there. But Aaron, Rob, I have to apologize. I'm actually going in to speak to some kids this morning at AMI. So can we continue this discussion? I think I'm on with you guys.
You're back next week. I know you got to go. Thanks for squeezing us in this morning. No. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for the time. I just want to reiterate again, city officials should be spending their time, serving the citizens of Shreveport and not getting involved with the political race.
Thank you. Thank you, Adrian Perkins. Appreciate your time.
748, 1017 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. The traffic sounder is in place. You're waving what? Is there something I don't know about?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Things happen pretty quick, and they happen at your end of the gopher-shaped table. 748, traffic update. Here's Brandon.
No major accidents to report so far in the Shreveport-Bossier City area, but when that changes, make sure you let us know. If you see any kind of traffic issue, call us on the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast, partly sunny and very hot with a high of 96 today. Partly cloudy tonight, low 76. Partly sunny and very hot, high 97 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
FM and 710 Keel. And thanks to Jack Spring Electric, we have the new Shockbuster button. If Erin says something crazy,
I'd kiss a stranger for a ribeye.
It's our 7-second delay, just in case. It's the Jack Spring Electric Shockbuster button on 1017 FM and 710 Keel.
.52, it's 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Time for sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Northwestern State's Shelton Effler earned the Southland Conference and the Louisiana Sports Writers Association Offensive Player of the Week after the Demon torched Lamar Saturday for a school record 474 yards passing, and 6 touchdowns. That's another new high in Demon history. LSU's Grant Delpit won the LSWA Defensive Award for the week with his 10-tackle, 1-pick performance at Auburn. Teammate Cole Kick Tracy was named the Special Teams Player of the Week for his 3-field goal performance at Auburn. LSU Sports Information Office believes it's the first LSU walk-off kick for a win in regulation since October 25th, 1941 against Florida. Tracy also earned SEC Special Teamer of the Week. Tigers quarterback Joe Burrow picked up the league's Offensive Player of the Week honors after leading LSU back to a victory from a 21-10 deficit. The Chicago Bears beat the Seattle Seahawks 24-17 last night. Mitch Trubisky threw a pair of touchdowns for Chicago. Russell Wilson threw 3 touchdown passes, 2 for his Seahawks and 1 for Chicago, a fourth-quarter pick six when Seattle trailed 17-10. The Astros were beaten by Seattle 4-1, so with 12 games to play, the defending World Series champs are 4 games ahead of second-place Oakland in the American League West. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Hey, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty again for Twin City Appliance, online twincityappliance.com. Twin City Appliance, which, by the way, has, how long have they been with us? About 2.5, maybe 3 years almost.
Oh, yeah, and they are booming. They've been in business 32 years, though.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And I want you to answer this question. Here's the question. Although it seems odd that there may be somebody who hasn't heard about Twin City Appliance, if they, by some scant chance, have not, pretend it's me. Tell me in 30 seconds about Twin City Appliance as though I just moved here from out of town.
If you have an appliance that's acting up, maybe your ice maker, your microwave, your oven, any appliance in your home that's gone kerplunk.
Any major appliance.
Twin City Appliance can fix it. Their techs are trained on all the latest and greatest gadgets. They know how to fix them. And in fact, if they come out to your house and they fix something, you have a 30-day guarantee that their fix is correct or they'll come back for free.
No matter the cost, no matter the, say, economic level of my appliances, they can take care of me?
Absolutely. If you've got an appliance that's on the fritz, give Twin City Appliance a call today. 318-688-0253 or check them out online, twincityappliance.com.
So, what's the latest?
The plot thickens.
Is it really? Did you hear back from City Attorney Bradford?
Not yet.
But you did get a text.
I did get a text.
Photographically, there's a picture.
Yeah.
What did you get from Adrian Perkins?
Adrian Perkins sent me a text that was allegedly sent by William Bradford.
We got to go. We'll cover this after 8 o'clock.
Oh, boy.
Bring you guys up to date on the Perkins-Bradford tiff.
Oh, boy.
I like that word, tiff. Meanwhile, here's
McGee.
Hannity coming up on KEEL.
The truth and nothing but. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Now, after the history of Bork and Clarence Thomas, just to remind you, what should happen next? That's the big question. But this is Ted Kennedy. Remember, this is the guy that left a woman in a car after he drove off a bridge in Chappaquiddick. Didn't tell anybody, went home. And he's lying about Robert Bork at the time. This is where the term borking has come from. And then, of course, Clarence Thomas with Anita Hill and his strong defense of himself.
Robert Bork's America is a land in which women would be forced into back alley abortions, blacks would sit at segregated lunch counters, rogue police could break down citizens' doors in midnight raids.
This is a circus. It's a national disgrace. And from my standpoint, as a black American, as far as I'm concerned, it is a high-tech lynching for uppity blacks.
Keeping you on the straight path. Later today, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
Looks like mostly clear roadway
Kill the traffic.
so far
Kill
this
it.
morning.
Shoot it.
Shreveport, Bossier's
7:59, KeelAccuWeather.com forecast sunny and hot today.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport. The KEEL Morning Show with Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Breaking news and trending talk on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Good morning. It's 3 past. I sounded about 1,000 years old there, didn't I? Mornings are different here in Northwest Louisiana.
We eat pine trees.
3 past 8. Robert and Erin, one eat pine trees. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Erin has local news up next.
Facebook Live killer wants to plead guilty. We'll talk more about that. Big time focus on the federal courthouse as the Block Boys members are on trial. And the $300 million, did it fall from the money tree?
So basically, our first segment goes from about 8:11 to about 8:19. That's 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way we can explain this whole Adrian Perkins, William Bradford City Attorney thing in 8 minutes?
Maybe.
And cover all the emails and texts we have received from both?
Maybe.
That tell us two different things?
Mm-hmm.
We will try. Fletcher in sports, traffic, and weather. It's all coming up this hour here on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Adrian Perkins strongly denies the endorsement of Brett Kavanaugh. Reuben Wright has more.
Mayoral candidate Adrian Perkins ended up with his name on a letter from the Black Law Students Association of Harvard Law School endorsing Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. However, Perkins sent a letter back claiming that his name was never authorized for use and should be removed from the letter. Perkins also claims that Shreveport City Attorney Willie Bradford was the one spreading the letter around via email. Perkins said he never knew or met Brett Kavanaugh. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Reuben Wright.
Louisiana looking at a $300 million surplus from the last budget year. We asked State Treasurer John Schroeder how we got the budget numbers so wrong.
I'm not quite ready. This is probably a couple days early.
State Representative Dodie Horton says she wants to roll that nearly half a penny temporary sales tax off the books, though.
We knew that we would be what our state would be collecting would be increasing, and as far as I know, we haven't even started collecting the sales tax from remote dealers, internet dealers, that we will be collecting.
While the governor admits there is a surplus, we won't know the exact number, he says, until the middle of next month. The Facebook Live killer wants to plead guilty to end his trial. Jonathan Robinson, the man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend, Renita Williams, while she streamed on Facebook Live, interrupted attorneys who were arguing over when a death penalty certified lawyer would be made available. Robinson wanted to keep his public defender and get the hearing over with. 5 suspected members of the Block Boys gang on trial, facing charges ranging from racketeering to drug-related infractions. The Block Boys have been accused by federal authorities of dealing drugs and robbing rival gang members in Shreveport's Queensboro and Ingleside neighborhoods. An officer has now been identified in the Saturday shooting on 80th and Dillman. SPD Sergeant Michael Jones is the officer that responded to a call of 2 men walking in the street and firing guns. When Jones arrived, the 2 men pulled guns and took aim at him. Sergeant Jones fired shots, striking the 2 men, sending them to the hospital with life-threatening wounds. Louisiana will get a $1.8 million a year over the next 5 years to establish a comprehensive Louisiana school mental health support program in 34 schools. Education spokesperson Sydney Dunn says it'll help provide special training to school personnel.
Also to connect students struggling with behavioral or mental health issues and their families to the appropriate services to help them.
Dunn says the state reviewed all of the school systems to see where the funds were most needed. Number 6, LSU, the talk of college football with its 2 victories over top 10 ranked teams. Coach Ed Orgeron says they still have several tough games left to play this season. They have to get better if they want to win those games.
Very pleased that we're 3-0, but there are some things that we need to get better at to get to where we want to go. We got to take it 1 week at a time and get better every week. This is a big week for us in improvement.
Next up for LSU, Louisiana Tech this Saturday. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Nine past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Traffic update. Here's Brandon.
Looks like mostly clear roadways so far this morning in the Shreveport-Bossier City area, but that could change at any moment. If you see anything, make sure you let us know by calling us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast, partly sunny and very hot with a high of 96 today. Partly cloudy tonight, low 76. Partly sunny and very hot, high 97 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
What did I say? Segment starts at 8:11.
It's convoluted.
And we've got till about 8:19
Yeah.
to sort all this out, including the responses we have received all morning long from both parties involved. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. And Afternoon Guy, AFFERNUNE, Afternoon Guy.
He's been chasing this.
Greg
yeah.
Adams is here. Okay, so this started off with a letter from, it wasn't the Harvard Law Record. The Harvard Law Record contacted who about, they wanted verification that Adrian Perkins, Shreveport mayoral candidate, was in fact endorsing Trump nominee for the Supreme Court, Brett Kavanaugh, who originally said that he was.
Now I can tackle this whole thing.
Okay.
So what happened is that on August 29th, a letter was sent from Harvard Law's Black Law Student Association that included about 8 names. That was sent.
So it was, pardon me, it was the BLA, and that was what Adrian said.
Yes.
And they say he was incorrectly. Well, you take it.
So that letter was sent to Chuck Grassley, the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and Dianne Feinstein, who is the ranking member. They are the people who are in charge of the hearings for Brett Kavanaugh, the Supreme Court nominee that President Trump has put up. And immediately the conservatives took that letter and held it up as, look, this is Brett Kavanaugh's commitment to diversity. And that happened in August. That was a big story in August, but not a big story here locally. It was just a national thing, people who were really into the Senate Judiciary Committee. Then after that news broke and somebody from the Harvard Review looked into it and said, hey, wait a second, did 8 of you really do this? Now, the Harvard Law Black Law Student Association also came out and said, this isn't us. These are former members. We have nothing to do with this. We're not making any endorsements.
How did they pick the names? Like, how'd they pick Adrian's name?
At this point, it's not clear because at the time, and this story became a big deal because some hardcore political analysts in the state, actually, I'm told that this came from New Orleans originally, that someone in New Orleans looked at this letter and went, wait, is that the same A. Perkins that's running for mayor in Shreveport? It has to be.
Mm-hmm.
So then it became a story here. And then yesterday it kind of really exploded as
Adrian denies an overt endorsement of Kavanaugh. We asked him this morning about 45 minutes ago, and he said, look, I'm not getting into that. I don't know the qualifications. I'm leaving that one alone for now. But the point being, Perkins' stance is that my name on that letter, meaning him, Perkins,
was not authorized,
and he has sent a letter to the Senate Judiciary Committee saying, let's clear this up.
Redact my name from your record.
They used my name without my permission.
And as we have discovered, at least if you start digging into this and start going, like I'm sure the Harvard Review is right now, and they'll probably have a big expose on this, it sounds like no one listed on that letter actually wrote and or authorized that letter.
So Adrian Perkins puts on his Facebook page.
Here's the part about it that we need to dig a little deeper. He says, it has come to my attention that city attorney William Bradford began sending this article containing false information to my potential supporters,
meaning his endorsement of Kavanaugh,
now at 8:30 a.m. today in an attempt to negatively impact my campaign.
Now, here's two things. When a story is written, if a news story is written about his endorsement, when all of the facts that are laid out currently publicly at this time is that his name did appear on a letter that was put on the record and submitted on the record with the Senate Judiciary Committee. If those are all the facts that are public at this point, then it's not a false story when at that point it is pushed out. So if at 8:30 yesterday morning where there was no...
Interesting you mention that, because that was sort of one of the questions in our back and forth with Attorney Bradford earlier today that we addressed. And one of the questions was, does it really matter if at the heart of this, whether Bradford believed that the Perkins endorsement was legit or not? So start with your emails this morning to City Attorney Bradford.
Did you send out the Harvard letter on the Kavanaugh endorsement to anyone? If so, did this happen at 8:30 a.m. as Adrian Perkins claims? Were you on the job when this allegedly happened? Mr. Bradford's reply, pretty quickly, I did not email the letter in an effort to impact the mayoral race to anyone like Adrian claims. It's been shared with me, and like most other citizens, I have discussed it with my friends and associates. I did not use city time nor city resources to distribute or discuss this article.
So when you read me that, I looked at that first sentence and I said, well, he says he didn't email it to disparage Perkins. Is by that statement I said to you, I said, does that mean he's admitting emailing it?
Yeah, well, that's what that reads.
Well, he was listening, and he replied immediately after we did that. He said, let me be clear. I did not email the letter.
Well, a text message is not an email.
That's exactly
what happened.
Well, that's what Adrian said. When we spoke with candidate Adrian Perkins at about 7:40, that was where he started, don't mean this in a negative way, splitting hairs. He said, well, he said he didn't email it. I got a text. And I will send you a copy of what I received. Or what, no, I apologize, not what he received, what acquaintances of his, meaning Perkins, had received.
And I showed you the screenshot of the text that comes from William Bradford's phone number, allegedly, sent out linking to this article. And then I sent that to Mr. Bradford, saying, well, did you text anyone? And he said, that's my personal number, but I did not send anything around.
Meaning email or text.
Email or text. Honestly, that looks like the link is pasted on a text message with my telephone number typed in.
So okay, since I tend
so that's
to,
calling it a fake.
Since I can tend to delve too deeply, to dissect too deeply, and you sort of rein me back in when I do that. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm going too far, is what Attorney Bradford's saying is somebody copied and pasted my number. This is a forgery, at least as far as goes the use of my phone number. Is that what he's saying?
That's kind of what what do you think, Greg? Sounds like it to me.
I looked at the photo that you have, and it looks. Photoshopping and creating a forgery. There's always a way to tell. You can always see the dot matrixing. You can always see that there's a different pixel rate. There's always something different. From what I see there, I cannot see a point in which somebody photoshopped what is provided. Now, ultimately, if somebody has their phone where they can open their text messages and show that that phone number provided that text message, that cannot be faked. That cannot be forged. And so if Adrian Perkins says he has acquaintances, as in multiple, and one of them can provide physical, here's the phone, here's the number of the text, and here's the link I received.
Yeah.
You can't fake that. You'd have to resurrect the ghost of Steve Jobs to get that done.
If the acquaintances of Perkins who allegedly received those texts, if it came to them secondhand, there's a lot of stages of this we'd have to go through.
Well, yes, and I mean that would be the easiest. Would be somebody actually physically handing you their phone and showing.
But the point is that Bradford says, in no uncertain terms, I saw this, I spoke about it with my friends, but I didn't
mass email it.
I didn't. Is he saying I didn't share it with anyone? Is that what we can deduce? Is that what we can?
That's what he's saying.
Well, ultimately, Bradford is not on trial here. He's not under oath.
No.
So
right.
I mean, we can split hairs. He can split hairs. He's much more educated than I am at this point. So he can lawyer speak his way out of anything, and I can just try to.
He says this again. I did not email or text the email out to his potential supporters.
So, well, and I mean, then we're putting a lot of qualifiers there.
I know.
I mean, there's a lot of qualifiers, which is why I say you can lawyer speak your way through this.
Right.
But what it really comes down to is that it's very interesting that this is becoming kind of such an explosive deal, because yesterday when the news first broke, well, even before the news broke, when it was still rumblings, when it was still rumors, and it was still a lot of innuendo online, and I was looking at social media circles, what I discovered was a large movement with the Adrian Perkins base, where there were a lot of people who were staunchly in his corner, who looked at that, even just the idea that he would speak out on behalf of Brett Kavanaugh in any way, and people moved out of his camp. But at the same time, there were a lot of people that I noticed, including one in particular, who was a self-described young Republican, who was put off by one of the other candidates and an endorsement that they received over the last few weeks, and they said, now that I don't have an ex-candidate, I am looking at Adrian Perkins harder now. I think Adrian Perkins is now my candidate.
Well, the one thing Adrian made clear when we talked with him at 7:40 this morning is he did not authorize the use of his name on that document, and that he is not publicly endorsing Brett Kavanaugh for Supreme Court. 20 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic update right now. Here's Brandon.
A few traffic slowdowns in the Shreveport-Bossier City area that you might want to avoid, like I-220 between 173 and 71, and I-20 eastbound in Bossier City just east of the Red River Bridge. If you see anything else, make sure you let us know by calling us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast, partly sunny and very hot with a high of 96 today. Partly cloudy tonight, low 76. Partly sunny and very hot, high 97 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, Tuesday Morning Sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Northwestern State's Shelton Epler earned the Southland Conference and the Louisiana Sports Writers Association Offensive Player of the Week after the Demon torched Lamar Saturday for a school record 474 yards passing and 6 touchdowns. That's another new high in Demon history. LSU's Grant Delpit won the LSWA Defensive Award for the week with his 10-tackle, 1-pick performance at Auburn. Teammate Cole Kick Tracy was named the Special Teams Player of the Week for his 3-field goal performance at Auburn. LSU Sports Information Office believes it's the first LSU walk-off kick for a win in regulation since October 25th, 1941 against Florida. Tracy also earned SEC Special Teamer of the Week. Tigers quarterback Joe Burrow picked up the league's Offensive Player of the Week honors after leading LSU back to a victory from a 21-10 deficit. The Chicago Bears beat the Seattle Seahawks 24-17 last night. Mitch Trubisky threw a pair of touchdowns for Chicago. Russell Wilson threw 3 touchdown passes, 2 for his Seahawks and 1 for Chicago, a fourth-quarter pick 6 when Seattle trailed 17-10. The Astros were beaten by Seattle 4-1, so with 12 games to play, the defending World Series champs are 4 games ahead of second-place Oakland in the American League West. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Phew, okay, I'm tired. Just shut this thing down early. 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, 25 past 8 o'clock. You asked a question yesterday that I kind of want to clear up, attempt to clarify.
Okay.
And you had said pertaining to the state of Louisiana discovering, because we had Treasurer John Schroeder on yesterday, and the story that came from a number of sources about suddenly Louisiana has a $300 million budget surplus.
Mm-hmm.
After all the dire warnings, fiscal cliff, John Bell, remember going back more than a year, LSU football, we may not be able to play, have to put criminals out on the street, have to kick old people out of nursing homes. It's going to be bad, folks, unless I get my tax raise. Unless we increase taxes on the citizenry of this state.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine. Levees could collapse.
Yeah. Yeah, no more food stamps.
So
kids are going to go hungry.
The point being, Schroeder comes out with the story a couple of days ago. Treasurer Schroeder, he's the one keeping the books. There's $300 million budget surplus.
Yeah.
And what you had asked was, wait a second, how could anybody get that so wrong? And
how are we off so much?
It's not a question of off. Let me explain to you, and let's just remove a lot of zeros, okay?
Okay.
Let's say, and I'll explain this again this way. Let's say that Governor Erin is in charge of her household.
Okay.
And there are 3 or 4 or 5 people, I don't know, living in the household of Louisiana. And Governor Erin says, hang on a second, household. We need $10 a month to run this house.
Keep the engine going.
And I'm telling you right now, we're only going to bring in 8.
Ooh, we got a cliff.
In the household kind of freak out.
Yeah, we've got a household cliff.
Wait, what'll happen? And you say, now, not only are we only going to bring in $8 of the 10 we need, but if we only bring in 8, the roof's going to cave in.
Yeah, you guys are going to starve.
So what we have to do is you have to give me more of your money so that we come up with the $10.
We got to bring in $10.
Meanwhile, there's a couple of people in the household, a couple of folks in the household who are questioning Governor Erin's wisdom.
Yeah.
Not to mention her math.
I think you got more money than you think in there, Governor
They're saying,
Erin.
Governor Erin, you don't need to take more of our money.
No, you don't.
You've got plenty. Cuts have been made.
All is good.
You have all the money you need. And Governor Erin says,
nope.
Can you hear the roof a-creaking?
We got a cliff.
So suddenly, everybody looks at the books. After all this is discussed.
Yeah.
And all the yelling dies down.
And we took more money from the whole household.
And Governor Erin, finally, there's $15.
OMG. We found a ton of money under the sofa.
Do you kind of understand what's happening here?
Yeah.
Okay, so you had said, so is somebody inept or is somebody just a lion?
Lion or incompetent?
Well, Governor Erin, you tell me. Are you inept or were you lying?
Did I get a windfall all of a sudden? A one-time $300 million fell from the sky?
The point is, Governor Erin, you have more money than you said you needed.
Yeah.
You said, I need 10, and unless we raise taxes on the people in the household, the roof's going to cave in. Well, you know what? You raise taxes, you've got 15.
Yeah.
The roof didn't cave in. Are you going to give the money back?
I'm giving the money back. That's what I'm doing. I'm giving it back. Thank you, guys. I didn't need your money. We're good.
Do you anticipate
Oh, come on. What a stupid question.
a rebate to the taxpayers of Louisiana?
On. I was going to use the A word, but I can't.
To the tune of $300 million.
You are such a dumb bunny.
So basically,
that's not going to happen.
Where we are.
No.
We need to track down Dr. Jeff Sato from LSUS for tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Because he is saying, and he is speculating, he no backer, he no fan of Governor John Bel Edwards. He is saying the governor, as many others have via our text line yesterday, he's saying that the governor, he is speculating that the governor may, in fact, use this $300 million as political favors.
Here coming into an election year.
You track down Dr. Jeff for tomorrow morning, and he
boy.
can clarify what exactly he meant, what he meant to say, and what he anticipates Governor John Bel Edwards will do.
I want to talk next when we can about what's happening in the French Quarter, or what was happening in the French Quarter this weekend. It's pretty amazing.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Erin has local news just ahead. Right now, here's Brandon.
Traffic starting to slow down around the major intersections in town, but so far no major accidents to report. If you do see something holding traffic up, let us know. Call us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast, partly sunny and very hot with a high of 96 today. Partly cloudy tonight, low 76. Partly sunny and very hot, high 97 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
The Facebook Live killer wants to plead guilty to end his trial. Reuben Wright has that.
Jonathan Robinson, the man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend Renita Williams while she streamed on Facebook Live, interrupted attorneys who were arguing over when a death penalty certified lawyer will be made available. Robinson wanted to keep his public defender and get the hearing over with. After he was told his lawyer doesn't handle death penalty cases, he was quoted as saying, "I waived all that," referring to the prohibition that a person can't plead guilty to a death sentence. "Goins can represent me and get all this over with. It's a bunch of nonsense." Robinson is second on a waiting list to receive a public defender qualified to handle death penalty cases. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Reuben Wright.
5 suspected members of the Block Boys gang are now on trial, facing charges ranging from racketeering to drug-related infractions. The Block Boys have been accused by federal authorities of dealing drugs and robbing rival gang members in the Queensboro and Ingleside neighborhoods, where they operated from 2012 through 2017. Security expected to be tight at the federal courthouse in Shreveport for the next 3 to 5 weeks. An officer has now been identified in the Saturday shooting on 80th and Dillman. Sergeant Michael Jones is the officer that responded to a call of 2 men walking down the street firing guns. When Jones arrived, the 2 men pulled guns, taking aim at him. Sergeant Jones fired shots, striking the 2, sending them both to the hospital with life-threatening wounds. The suspects are facing several charges. Jones on paid leave, pending the investigation. Mayoral candidate Adrian Perkins ended up with his name on a letter from the Black Law Students Association of Harvard Law School, endorsing Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. However, Perkins sent a letter back claiming his name was never authorized for use and should be removed from that letter. Perkins also claims Shreveport City Attorney William Bradford was the one sending the letter around via email. Perkins said he never knew or met Brett Kavanaugh. Louisiana Board of Medical Examiners is lifting the cap on how many medical marijuana patients a doctor can treat. Previously, doctors were limited to 100 patients a year. Medical marijuana expert and prescriber Dr. Victor Cho, one of only 3 or 4 dozen in the state, says this will dramatically increase access to the treatment for those who are eligible.
The fact that physicians like myself who are actively involved can actually help as many patients as possible really does allow patients to access this program.
Medical marijuana is currently being grown in the state by GB Sciences, which is working with LSU to produce the oil and pill-based treatment. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. You are circuitously going to assist me in talking about a new client on the show, a new sponsor, Louisiana Coin and Jewelry.
I love this.
Now, if you don't know where they are, they're on Line Avenue. You know where the Brookshire's is?
Mm-hmm.
It's in that Uptown Shopping Center. They are just in that corner to the left of Brookshires as you face Brookshire.
You can buy gold there, by the way.
I want you to Google something for me.
Okay,
I want you to Google Rolex,
Rolex,
Submariner,
Submariner.
Cost.
New.
N-E-W.
New.
But I don't want you to mention any numbers.
Okay.
Okay? Now, when you see what one costs new, what was that noise again? Okay. Now, you are holding in your hand a pre-owned Rolex Submariner from Louisiana Coin and Jewelry.
It is a beaut.
If you have ever thought about buying a luxury watch, specifically a Rolex of any style, see, not only do they have subs, they have a couple of presidents, I know they've got one Daytona chronograph, an Explorer I saw. The point I'm making is this. You can save a substantial amount without mentioning numbers.
A lot of juice.
If you know about luxury watches, specifically Rolex,
it's a beauty.
You know the numbers we're talking about. And you will save a substantial number of dollars by shopping for a pre-owned Rolex.
This one's for sale right now.
Or yes, they loaned it to me
Wow.
to hand to you to put up in front of the camera on the KEEL Facebook page.
You're going to save 5 G's.
No, but shh. Quiet.
Are you kidding me?
When it comes to the most important accessory a man or woman can own, that's a wristwatch. Rolex is top of the line, cream of the crop, nobody better, and they have a vast selection of pre-owned Rolexes.
They're authentic. These are not those fakey-dakey ones.
At Louisiana Coin and Jewelry. There's Scott and Tom and Eric. I was over there the other afternoon. Trust me, they know their watches, and they are patient because there's nobody who wants to talk watches more than me. They'll answer all your questions and make sure you get the best watch for your needs and your lifestyle and the dollars you have available. And on top of that, if you have something in mind that they don't have in stock, they can track it down for
they'll
you.
find it.
Louisiana Coin and Jewelry.
Can I keep this for a few days?
A family-owned business. They've been in business for like 60 years. They're almost as old as me.
They ain't going nowhere.
Stop by, say hello. You tell them you heard about it on KEEL and see their line of Rolexes. They've got a Breitling, they've got a Panerai, and a couple of others, too, if you want to take a look.
Beautimus.
Louisiana Coin and Jewelry, up there in the corner, Uptown Shopping Center, next to Brookshire's. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty. It's 8:39, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Brandon.
Traffic starting to slow down around the major intersections in town, but so far no major accidents to report. If you do see something holding traffic up, let us know. Call us on the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast, partly sunny and very hot with a high of 96 today. Partly cloudy tonight, low 76. Partly sunny and very hot, high 97 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
On 7 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. It's 18 away from 9 o'clock. Oh, so finally you're coming around to my side. Finally, your maternal instincts, your feminine traits, the hormones, the estrogen of which I have more than enough for a man, is finally kicking in, and you're feeling a little sorry for the Cleveland Browns kicker, Zane Gonzalez.
Can we offer him a job?
Well, he's looking for one.
He needs one.
Because they cut his ass loose yesterday.
Yeah, they did. He's tossed to the curb.
And
after the game,
go ahead,
where the Saints beat the Browns because he missed a field goal.
No. Wait. He didn't miss a field goal. He missed 2 field goals,
Yeah.
and he missed 2 extra points.
Poor Dorland.
An extra point that would have tied the game after a spectacular Tyrod Taylor touchdown pass.
Right.
And then, just like last week at the end of the game, because they played the Steelers last week and tied in OT. This week, he missed at the end of the game another field goal, which would have tied the game. Last week's was horrible. If you saw that one against the Steelers, they're in the rain, it's muddy, I understand. But the score is tied, and there's a couple of seconds left in the game, and the Browns have the ball at about the Steelers' 32 or 33-yard line.
Right.
And he's in to kick a field goal that would have given the Browns a win when they played the Saints Sunday. Did you hear the announcer say how long it has been since the Browns won an NFL game?
It's like 3 years.
631 days. So last weekend against the Steelers, he has an overtime kick to give the Browns their first win in nearly 2 full seasons. And he kicks it. Not only does he miss the field goal, he misses the field goal so badly he kicks the ball into the butt of his left guard. Okay?
Yeah.
So they keep him around for 1 more week.
Oh, they shouldn't have.
They're beating the Saints. In the course of the game that the Saints came back and won in the last few minutes, on a last-second field goal, by the way.
Right.
Well, almost last second, because this guy, poor Zane, missed another one at the buzzer, at the gun. He missed 2 field goals and 2 extra points.
Yeah.
Now,
They let him go.
Browns fans.
They're in the middle of the French Quarter on Bourbon Street.
Yes.
And they got out a real football.
Oh, God.
And they got some people down on the other end. They set up a line, and they snapped the ball. They were recruiting people to become Browns kickers in the middle of the French Quarter.
Well,
they're snapping the ball. They're letting people kick.
Yeah.
They're saying, "Okay, you're a keeper. No, you got to go."
Knocking out windows.
Right there in the middle of the French Quarter, they're kicking field goals, trying to find a new kicker.
They signed a guy yesterday. They did not sign the available Dan Bailey, who I think is probably the second most accurate kicker in NFL history. And the Cowboys, it would appear, let him go in preseason because they didn't want to pay him the $2 or $3 million a year they owed him, so they cut him loose.
Who'd the Browns sign? Poor darling.
I don't know. Peg-leg somebody.
God
I forget the guy's
bless
exact
him.
name.
Did they get a one-legged guy? That might be a try. They ought to try that.
Absolutely no idea.
A one-legged guy could do better.
Bailey had his choice of 4 or 5 different squads. If you were Dan Bailey and you had a choice between Minnesota, Super Bowl contender, and the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, come on.
Not quite a Super Bowl contender.
Right.
So Bailey signed with the Vikings. I don't know who the Browns
And
signed.
those beer fridges in Cleveland, they're still padlocked. Budweiser's going to open the beer fridges and give out free beer the next time Cleveland wins, but it's been 600 and some days.
633 days now. There is a mayoral forum tonight. I would assume, I don't know how many of the candidates will be in attendance. There are let's see, we've got the Big Five, so I don't know for sure, but we can run down the list. We've got on the Dem side, we have Ollie Tyler, incumbent, Steven Jackson, Adrian Perkins.
Yes.
On the Republican side, Jim Talaferro and Leo Savage.
Yep.
Then I apologize, I mean this with all the respect in the world, but legitimately second-tier candidates, including Anna Marie Arpino, Jerron Rogers, and Tremikius Dixon.
Yep, that forum is at Huntington High School tonight, I believe.
At 6 o'clock is when they start.
Yes.
Through the day today, we will continue to hunt down. We will see if we can track down more information on the is war of words too strong? They certainly are at odds in their events, in their stories. I'm talking about mayoral candidate Adrian Perkins and city attorney William Bradford. Bradford says, I did not email or text to anyone hoping, correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't mean to split hairs, but I want to get it right. In fact, read the last one about I did not email or text.
Okay, this is my last communication from Mr. Bradford. That's my personal number, but I did not send anything around. Honestly, that looks like the link is pasted on a text message with my telephone number typed in it.
In an earlier
Again, I did not email or text the email out to his potential supporters.
And he makes the point that even if he had, he would not have done it with the intention of hurting the candidacy of Adrian Perkins.
Right.
Man, this is complicated.
It's a mess.
848, 1017 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright, and Erin McCarty. Your money now is just ahead. Look in the road, ahead. Traffic update right now. Here's Brandon.
Traffic starting to slow down around the major intersections in town, but so far no major accidents to report. If you do see something holding traffic up, let us know. Call us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast, very hot today, partly sunny, high 96, then patchy clouds, low 76 tonight, partly sunny and very hot again tomorrow, high 97. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
1017 FM and 710 Keel. You'll hear all the news our city is talking about. If you think about changing the dial, we'll slap your hand. Breaking news and trending talk. 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KeelNews.com.
A-Mark Metals, proudly presenting the Moon Griffon Show, Tuesday, September 18th for their yearly Customer Appreciation Luncheon. Moon Griffon, live and local at A-Mark Metals. So stop by and enjoy the show and plenty of delicious food. A-Mark Metals, your one-stop shop for custom metal roofing. If you've been thinking about the idea of replacing your roof, or you want to equip your new home or business with the best available, find out more online at amarkmetals.com or visit A-Mark Metals, 3853 Industrial Circle in Bossier.
850, here's your money now.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
A California woman, college professor, and Democrat has accused conservative judge Brett Kavanaugh of attempting to rape her back when both of them were in high school 36 years ago. Judge Kavanaugh strongly denies the allegations.
Well, I mean, the party occurred in 1982. I don't know how you prove you were or weren't at a party that far back. He says he wasn't even at the party that she accuses him of doing these misdeeds. Look, this is the same situation as it was in 1991 when the left painted Clarence Thomas as a misogynist monster.
It's an old playbook that's going to get a new hearing on Monday.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Abalone and Stephen Parr on 1017 FM and 710 Keel and streaming live at KeelNews.com.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Shreveport Security Systems text line 318-392-1884. Didn't have to use the Jack Spring Electric Shock Buster button again today.
Woo.
I'm kind of stunned. It's been a while, but it's there just in case.
Mm-hmm.
I think it should be the Jack Spring Electric ejector seat.
We like that.
But that's another story for another time. Okay, so for tomorrow morning, need to track down Dr. Jeff Sato at LSUS, political science guy at LSU Shreveport, to talk about the his article. Was it at the Advocate?
Yeah.
No, okay, where he speculates that part, if not all of that $300 million state budget surplus, which now I guess is in the hands of the governor, could go to pay off. Am I overspeaking here? To pay off political favors, or
he's not referring to the $300 million. He's referring to the money we save from criminal justice reform, and now he's going to use that money.
So that's only $200 million.
That's a smaller amount.
I mean, only by $100. Still $200 million is a
but
chunk.
It's over 10 years.
It's a chunk of change.
He's only got his hands on 1/10 of it.
What does the governor want to do with that? Dr. Jeff has an article. We will discuss that hopefully tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what were you saying about the parade at Parkway?
Yeah, the student-led prayer at Parkway High School.
Well, that's legit. You can do that.
Yeah, you can do that. But apparently there are some who are saying that it's still sponsored by the school,
Don't tell
even
me.
though they made a disclaimer.
Some teacher bowed his or her head out of respect.
I don't get
and
it.
that means that the government of the United States endorses Christianity. And for the love of God, man. Oh, I said it too.
Yeah.
We can't have that. The ongoing lawsuit with all of those, I know it's the Freedom from Religion Foundation, the ACLU circuitously involved. You know who we need to track down to clear all that up for us?
Who?
Is Mike Johnson.
Oh, yeah, Mike would do it.
And see if Mr. Mike will come on tomorrow morning and talk about that.
I'll call Mike.
We'll see what we can find. Back tomorrow morning, 6 till 9, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin. Kim Commando time right now on Keel.
Cable's too expensive. It doesn't offer what I want. Sound familiar? Kim Commando with your Tuesday Consumer Tech Update. Get extended interviews with the free Commando podcasts available on iTunes and Google Play. Before you cut the cord on your cable, and even if you already have, it's time to reassess whether it's best money-wise. The glory days of affordable streaming like Netflix, YouTube, PlayStation, and others are nearing a close. Streaming service prices are inching up, and rarely can one streaming service give you everything that you want. So do the math. Add up your streaming costs and compare it to cable. Don't forget about rental and movie purchases, too. They add up. If you're leasing a modem from the cable company, it's cheaper to buy one. Scan your bill for any broadcast fees and surcharges and complain. If you call your cable company, they know it's cheaper to keep a current customer than get a new one. You just might be able to lower your bill to less than streaming. I'm Kim Commando. Here's some exciting news. As a company, SimpliSafe is now valued at $1 billion. Not only that, more than 2 million homes are now protected with an incredible SimpliSafe system. SimpliSafe is comprehensive protection for your home with round-the-clock professional monitoring that will bring the police anytime there's even the slightest hint of a problem. And SimpliSafe is built for the unexpected. It's loaded with safeguards that keep your system working even during the power and Wi-Fi outages. Even if a burglar smashes your keypad, the police will still be on their way. And the system is so easy to use. It's incredibly intuitive. It takes only minutes to set up in your home. Order your SimpliSafe system now. As a listener of the Kim Commando Show, you get free shipping and free returns. Visit simplysafekim.com. simplysafekim.com to protect your home with SimpliSafe today. That's simplysafekim.com.
Yo, Robert J. Wright here once again for Quirby's and Huntington Golf Courses, Shreveport's Golf Courses. And listen to me, do I have some incredible news. Now you can make your tee times for Quirby's and Huntington online. Now schedule your golf easy and fast. Quirby'sPark.tsnap.net or huntingtongc.tsnap.net. Of course, I will repeat those, but you got to admit they're easy to remember. Quirby'sPark.tsnap.net. huntington.tsnap.net and huntingtongc.tsnap.net. And while I'm thinking about it, have you put the Quirby's Grill into your lunch rotation? Some of the best burgers in town, great drinks all the time, and lunch specials that are as good as anybody anywhere. Things just keep getting better, don't they? And I guarantee I'll see you there at Quirby's and Huntington Shreveport's golf courses.
Traffic starting to slow down around the major intersections in town, but so far no major accidents to report. If you do see something holding traffic up, let us know. Call us on the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline at 687-ROAD.
8:59, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, AccuWeather.com forecast. Guess what? Sunny and really hot today. High in the middle to upper 90s. Right now, 78 at KEEL, 9 o'clock. Fox News time.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.